Awesome.
Yes. Awesome.
Okay. So
yes,
before I get started, does everybody kind of, okay, all right, I was gonna say, if you want to say who I am, but I didn't know if everybody know who I was. So I didn't know if you wanted to introduce me.
Yes, I want to introduce Stacey Baum, our mentor in our social media learning. And we have her on this is the fourth time, I think. And we have you on recorded and we put you on our journey starts here because you answer all those questions. And then we have all the questions in our system, kind of. And so people asking questions. And so we love you, Tracy. So are you going to be the MC again this time? Part of the MC stuff?
I don't know. They haven't said yet, but typically, you know, they have Patrick and I do it together. So if they do, I will be honored to do it. I love it. So, well, thank you for having me on. I love you guys and any, you know, help that I can give. Because I've had people help me and I always think that it comes back 10 times more in this business. And so before I get started with the questions, I want to tell you one of the most important things that you guys can do is honestly, don't think too much about things. Okay. When you go into, especially for social media, when you go into something, the more you think and try to figure things out, you're wasting times. I just tell people, don't think, just do it. So if something, you know, if you feel like, oh, I should ask that person, you know, for a shout out, or I should just ask her to join the business, just do it. Even if you're scared, just do it, because the only thing they can say is no. You know, and somebody, it may be no now, but you've planted the seed and it could be yes later. So I want to share with you a quick story of one of my customers that has been buying from me literally for 3.5 years. She has done multiple shout outs, at least one every few months. Cause I'm like, hey, will you do their shout out for me? I've offered the business at least 6 or 7 times. She's told me no every time. But this last time she did a shout out and it started taking off. I said, you know, her name, it doesn't matter, Cheryl. I said, Cheryl, you got to do this. You're already doing what I do and you can have this money. She finally signed up. Excuse me. And it was because the timing was right for her. She is having her second grandbaby and they live in Dallas, which is like 6 hours from her. And she's tired of the job she's in and she needs some more flexibility. So, you know, 6 exposures, right? You always hear it takes 6 or 12 exposures. So whether you're offline or online, it's the same concept. You just need to talk to as many people as you can about this. And so the way that we do it is through shout outs that give us the opportunity to have a little bit of an edge that they've been exposed to utilizing their Facebook. And then it's way easier. So it's like a warm invite, right? It's not so cold. And I am telling you right now, once you get into the groove of shout outs, your business will explode because social media is blowing up. So get out of your comfort zone, get out of your own way, and get comfortable with just asking, because you never know when it's going to be the right time for someone. So don't be afraid to ask someone that did a shout out for you a month ago. You can do a different picture, you can do a different product. So the point that I'm getting at is just ask and don't be afraid of the outcome, because you never know. Okay, so I'm going to get to these questions, and then if you have any extra ones, we can go through those too. So the first one is, when a shout out gets a lot of sales and the person hasn't started the business, where should we buy the product's volume on? Okay, so if someone did a shout out for you and you got a lot of sales and you asked her to do the business, if she said no, then the sales go to you. You're gonna buy under your own volume, because if they said no, obviously you can't, you know, sign them up. But before you place the order, you can go back to the person and say, Sally, I have 10 orders here. Do you know how much money that is? And then you can tell her how much she would make. Okay. The Facebook isn't ready to join. So does that answer your question? Because really, to me, if the person doesn't want to join, then the volume goes under you, because you can't make her LOI because if she doesn't want to join. Does that make sense for that question? Okay.
Put over there.
What are the beginning trainings you give for LOI and the business, and how often are trainings? So our training model is, as soon as someone hits LOI, we are putting them in our weekly. I mean, we have new LOI trainings about every, I think it's the second Tuesday of the month. So we do a month training for LOIs, and then we do a month training for new brand reps. So basically you just pick a day of the week, like the second Tuesday of the month is LOI, and then you can do a brand rep. But basically once a month, you should be training your new LOIs. Now, if you have a bunch coming in, you could always set up a Zoom with the, like 3 or 4 people, especially if you're getting like more than 5 or 6 in a week or so, you don't want to wait 3 weeks. I would set up a Zoom and get them to understand what the process is from LOI to brand rep. Because as we all know, life begins at the brand rep, right? Because it's so that they understand, hey, you're making retail profit. Do you want to start making more money and start earning trips? So I would definitely have a training at least once a month for both of those, maybe more depending on how many people you have coming in. Do you meet up with your Facebook friends to flip them to the business, or purely online? Everything's online for me. And as a matter of fact, with the way my system is, or our team system, I don't hardly get on calls. It's all in chats. Everything that we do. So if I have someone in my downline that brings on someone, they start a chat with me. So then it's me, the new person, and my brand rep. And you keep them in that chat until they hit brand rep. Then you have like a brand rep chat to flow all the information. But I don't meet up with anybody. I don't even really get on major long calls until I see that they're bringing in some, like, they're heavy hitters, because that's just the way the Facebook world works. It's fast. Does that make sense? So I don't meet people. And it's actually, I just had a distributor. She had someone interested in joining, and she said, can we set up a 3-way call? I said, no, we don't need to. Get her to join, start a 3-way message between me, you, and her. I'll introduce myself, have her watch a welcome video, and then get her to do her first post. And then if we need to chat, I'll do a video chat on my phone in Messenger. But I don't even set up a Zoom. It's just, the Messenger video, because you can have up to 8 people in Messenger on a Messenger chat video. So we do a lot in there. But I don't really set up calls with people until they are close to LOI or brand rep, because it just slows everything down. Does that make sense? Okay. What are the questions you ask a Facebook friend in order to find out if we can flip them into the business? So the question really is when someone does a shout out for me, I don't care if they've had 1 sale, 0 sales, or 10 sales. Every single person gets an invite to the business. And I like to do voice clips because I like for them to hear my excitement. Because so sometimes I'll say, hey, Sally, thank you so much for doing that shout out for me yesterday. I really appreciate it. Not sure if you know this, but it's completely free to join our business. And I would love to show you how you can make some money. I don't address whether or not they had no sales. If they come back to me and say, well, did anybody buy? I'll say, no, not currently, but that doesn't matter. I can show you my simple system, how we build on Facebook. Now, if someone has a lot of sales, then that's when you get excited and you say, oh my gosh, Sally, your post is blowing up. Have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? Because I can let you take over this post and you can put the money in your pocket. When can we chat? Do you want to join? Right? So it's almost like the posture that you hold of just automatically thinking they're going to join, they should join. Okay. So I don't really ask any questions other than, do you want to join my team? Right? Once they say yes or no, if they have questions about what this is or any objections, then I'll go over that. But I don't have specific questions other than, do you want to join my team? Because, and right now, the verbiage that I'm using is, gas prices are really high. How are you going to bring in extra money to pay for the inflation? Because I can show you how to do that. So that's the verbiage I'm using. But find whatever it is that you're passionate about with Nu Skin and use that in your verbiage. For those that say yes to the business, how many will really start? Well, I would say some of them start, but typically for me and the numbers that I'm seeing with the team, for every 10 people that come on, 1 will stay. So I had 4 new people start today, and we'll see what happens. I've literally have had people start, and it's happened to me twice already. I'll start the process of like getting them to do certain things and posting. And this one lady, she's like, I'm too busy. I don't think this is for me. And I said, okay, no worries. If you ever feel like, you need a plan B, I'll be here. And I move on. I don't hold any energy over it because it doesn't matter. But it really is about every 10 people that come through the system, 1 stays. Okay. How do you follow up and keep them motivated for those who want to do the business? It really, honestly, it's when you get them going, you've got to find out, like, once they LOI and you ask the question, do you want to go to the next level? Do you want to hit brand rep? It's the same thing as offline, right? You find out what is it that makes them tick. Like, do you want to go on trips? Do you need more money? What is it that they're going to be motivated to stay, so that you can show them what that is? Because if I really wasn't interested in to me, the trips are why I joined, is traveling. But I have a lot of people that I'll ask them, hey, do you like to travel? And they'll straight up say no. So then I know I don't want to sit here and talk about, oh my gosh, you can go on 2 free earn trips a year, because that's not going to motivate them. So then I need to find out, is it money? And then dig a little deeper. And this is where recruiting comes in. Well, what do you want to do with the money? Right? Like, you got to get to the pain point of the heart of the matter for that person to say, okay, like for me, my money it first started off with just paying bills. Then it turned into my daughter. She dances competitively and it's expensive. And I don't want to tell her no. So you got to find out from your people that you bring on, like once you get them to LOI, they want to do brand rep. The questions are, you got to really find out and dig deep what's going to get them motivated, because we can't put our motivation on there or else they'll be out. So once I find out what that is, I'll write it down. And then when they start kind of falling back or saying it's too hard, I'll say, but remember, you said that you wanted to make an extra $3,000 a month to pay for your daughter's dance. Is that still something that you want to do? And then if they say, yeah, I say, okay, well then in order to do that, we have to do, ABC. But as we all know, we can't motivate anybody. We can't make anybody do anything. Do you have a getting started on shout outs trainings for beginners? Is it possible for us to replicate your training? I do have a training page, but really most of our stuff is all in a messenger chat. So what I would recommend, if you're really wanting to take off with your shout outs and have like a platform, I would find a leader who is doing the shout outs, understands it, and start a group. Like you can call it Marguerite's Magnificent whatever, right? And then you go in and you have videos that you would welcome the person, okay? And I can get with a Marguerite and give her like an outline, but you're going to want it to come from one of you, because if I just gave you mine, it won't make any sense. And Facebook is ever changing. I mean, it literally is like 1 minute's this way, next minute's that way. And then the products with Nu Skin, they change. Like when I started, it was toothpaste, then it was tanner, and right now it's firming cream. And so you have to have someone that can really manage the page. And so there is like I would say if you keep it super simple with a welcome video, first post, last call, and then like and so guides, you'll have guides that you can follow that have basically a video and then a post with the comments. That's what mine look like, so that people have a place to go to. So I would find someone on here that would want to take that on, because it is a little time consuming, but it definitely is something that will help you guys once you grow this. Is there anybody on here that's really understanding that, like the social and taking off with the shout outs? Marguerite, do you have anyone that you would say?
I don't know who asked this question, because we have a Facebook group called the Journey Starts Here, and it has all the shout out in there. So I do not know why they asked that question.
Okay, no worries. Moving on. Okay.
Okay.
Do you encourage every beginner to do a 90-day beast mode? Do they start using the 90-day journal? Yes. Okay. So I do want to make sure that everyone understands that everyone's beast mode is different. Okay. I don't, my full-time job is Nu Skin. So for me, I am doing 10 shout outs a day, which is not easy. But for my other people who work full-time, they cannot do 10 a day. They can do 3, they can do 5. So the most important part about the shout outs and beast mode is consistency. I would rather you be consistent and do 2 shout outs every single day versus, oh, well, today I have time, I'm going to go get 10. And then tomorrow you don't do any. And then Sunday you're like, oh, it's family day, I'm not going to do anything, I got to spend time with my kids. And then Monday I'll do 1. And then Tuesday is like, oh, I'm busy. You see what I'm saying? It's just, you have to stay in the flow. And it's better to do 1 shout out a day. And then once you get the groove of being totally consistent like a Nazi, then you go to 2, and then you go to 3, and then you go to 4, and you stay really, really focused on the flow of being in beast mode. Beast mode doesn't necessarily mean the number. To me, beast mode is I'm consistent, I'm using my journal, and everybody, as soon as they start doing or they start showing that they are going to LOI, even if it's 500 in volume and they haven't LOI'd yet, I'd say you need to get a journal, because I only work with people who are using a journal, because I can't not teach a system if you're not using my journal. So they get a journal, and then I say, go get 3 to 5 shout outs. And then we kind of see where they're at with that number. And then I have a conversation with them. I'm like, how do you feel like you're doing with 3? And if they say it's good, I say, okay, well then next week let's go to 4. And then every week you try to up it to a 1 more. And I'll be honest with you, 10 is hard. But once you start doing it, they do get easier, because the orders keep coming in, and then you just feel more confident, and you're not afraid to ask, because you just kind of get this like thick skin of like, and they're so fun. Like, I love the shout outs because they bring like people that I would have never been able to approach because they're not in my pond. So I encourage beast mode right away, but you got to lay the groundwork of what that beast mode looks like for the individual, because what I have found is that there are people on my team that they feel intimidated when they can't get that many. And I don't want anybody to feel that way. I want them to know whatever number is good for you is what we're going to do, because that's what's best for you. And some people, they work full-time jobs. I'm like, well, let's try to do, whatever the magic number is during the week, but on the weekends, you add maybe 2 more. So if you work full-time, do 2 to 3 during the week, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, especially Sunday, which I know Sunday is, the Sabbath day. And some people with their religion feel like they're not supposed to work. So that's up to you. I feel like Jesus loves me, and I'm spreading his good word. And so I do want to work, but again, everybody's got their own ideas. And so I'm like, you do you, but I'm gonna do me, and you don't get upset with me if I'm gonna go get my 10. But Sundays are really good. I'm gonna tell you why. People are from the weekend. Sorry, my car's going off. From the weekend, they're wrapping up and they're getting ready to go to work. They get on their phones and they sit in their bed and they start doing this. And they have to go to work on Monday. And I'm telling you, I love Sundays. So I like to go all beast mode on Sundays. How do you groom them if they're not consistent on Facebook? What do they need to do as a minimum benchmark for a business builder on Facebook? Well, most people don't understand the ins and outs of Facebook and algorithms. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing that I see is, and Erin Kay, she's one of my best friends in the business. She's a 4-star platinum team elite. She did a live video today on One Team Global. I highly recommend. I see people. It was amazing, right? Because people, they don't understand the algorithms of Facebook, and why would they, right? But people share, and they don't understand that if they are only posting other people's stuff, and I like to call them static posts, where it's just pictures of other stuff. Like, if you go on Facebook, and you'll know what I'm talking about, and you stumble across a person, their profile picture is not a person, and then all of their posts are like random stuff. There's nothing of their family. I don't know who they are. Okay, so imagine if you're trying to get this person new to start sharing to sell product. I wouldn't buy from someone that I don't know. So that's how I explain it to my new people. I'm like, you have got to let people know who you are. Now, as women, mainly, sorry, I know there's some guys on here, but mainly as women, we are very afraid to show our faces. We're afraid to put ourselves out there because of what people are going to think about us. We're very self-conscious of how pretty we are, how much weight we've gained. Nobody cares. I'm telling you, nobody cares. What they do care about is what you have to say and what you enjoy. And if they don't know that, they are not going to buy from you. People buy from who they trust. And so I tell my people, I'm like, I need you to go and just start taking selfies. And I know there's people on here, because I have my ladies who are like, oh no, Tracy, I can't do that. And I'm like, do you know how sad it will be? And I said, do you have any pictures of yourself? And she was like, no. And I said, how sad would it be if something happened to you and there's no pictures of you? She's like, you're right. I said, so I want you to go start taking pictures of yourself. And she's doing it. And so I really just tell people in that way, that if you want to take your Facebook from a playground, because when they joined Facebook, they really weren't thinking they were going to use it as a business, right? And take it from a playground to a business of letting people know who you are so that they can buy from you, because most of the people who are customers turn into distributors. And so you got to think of it that way. And so I would say the minimum benchmark is utilizing the in your journal, the income producing activities. Those are so important for you to post daily. And don't post someone else's stuff. Post you. Post what you're cooking. Like if you're playing cards, take a picture of you and all your people. If you're out to dinner, and this is what I've always said, I may have even said it on here before. If it feels weird, you're doing it right. Okay. Do stories of you using the product. Talk about it. Do stories of you going outside and having your coffee or going on a walk. It seems like it's corny and kind of weird, but that's how people know who you are. And the more you do them, the more you'll get like, oh, this isn't so bad. But that's how I grew. That's how I help my people understand that you have to come across on Facebook that if somebody, and I encourage you guys to do this on your Facebook tonight. Just go through your friends and look at their page and look at how they post, because I'm telling you, there's so many people that I'm like, I don't even know who this is. And so if you're outside in, it's like, am I going to send $55 for a firming cream with this person? I don't know who she is. So let them in your world. Take off the unveil yourself, and just, and it's hard because we have so many insecurities, but nobody's looking at you that way. I mean, that's just how I see it, right? And it's like, kind of think of it, if you're looking at other people online, are you judging them? No. You're not looking at them going, oh my gosh, she's gained so much weight. Look at her hair. Oh, I can't believe she's posting that. No, you're like, whatever, right? You just kind of either comment or you move on, but you don't judge. So why do you think they're judging you? So that's just something that we all have to work on. And it gets better over time. Okay, so does that kind of answer your question? Like, just really helping them get past the insecurities. That's how I get them to, and I would say a benchmark for a business builder. There's really no way of knowing who's going to be a business builder. The way I look at it is, are they coachable? And if I tell them to do something, do they do it? Right? Like if I'm encouraging you, if I say, okay, next thing, we got to go live. If they say no, I'm like, okay, because they're not they're just not really open. And so if they say yes and they go do it, I'm like, perfect. I don't care how it turns out. I don't care if it's the worst live video they've ever done. It was the best one they did because it was their first one. So that's how I know if they're business builders, because they're coachable. You can coach anybody to be a business builder on Facebook. Anybody can go from 0 to 100 if they just follow a few simple things. That's how I see if they're going to be a business builder. Okay, we only have 2 questions left. When you try to flip someone, do you mention how much in retail profit they've made from their one post in order to attract them? Or do you mention potential earnings? Yes, 100%. Especially if they did a shout out for me and it's like getting 4 or 5 comments in an hour, I tell them immediately, hey, you could take over this post, because number one, I don't want to have to get all that product like out the door. I just want I want to flip as many people as I can. And so I'll say, oh my gosh, you have 5 friends that already want this and you haven't even used it yet. Isn't that amazing? And I said, that's the power of Facebook. do you want to take over the post? And I'll say, because you've got 5 orders, you can make over $50 and it's been 20 minutes. Are you in? That's the kind of thing that I say, because I don't ask, do you want to join? I just kind of say more like, you ready to go? Do you want to do this? To just get them going. Okay. I would imagine you have lots of people starting the biz, posting casually, some more than others. At what point do you decide that a brand affiliate is serious enough and you want to start sharing about becoming their brand rep? I do it immediately. As soon as they make, even if it's just 500 in volume, we start talking next steps of success trip points, making more money, because even if they don't really want to build a team, if they get to brand rep, they can make $400 to $500 a month on top of retail profit. That alone can help somebody with gas, right? Because that's where the conversation, I leave voice clips. Hey, listen, are you ready to talk next steps on how you can make some more money? And some people are like, no, I'm cool with just retail profit. And I say, no worries. If you ever want to take a look at it, let me know. And I've had some people that start selling more and more bulks. And I'm like, okay, listen, I cannot let you just sit here and not get to the next level, because I'm making this money. I'm making up to 40% every time you buy a bulk order. You could be making that money. And they'll say, okay, maybe I should look at it.
I think she's locked.
Oh, no.
I know. I think we lost her. No, she's on.
Frozen.
I know. Do we see her? There, she's back. No.
Did she look like she was in the car?
She's in the car.
We
She's
might
in
have
a
lost.
shopping center. You may have lost her. She might have to
She
log
did.
back in.
She just popped off, so I'm thinking she'll probably try dialing back in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You guys like all the answers so far?
Yes, very
So
much.
who's getting started shout out? Who asked a question? They didn't watch our getting started?
The journey starts here. It's all there.
I know. So number 8. Okay. She's on number 13 right now. She's ready to go on 13. Yeah, she went off.
Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
She might not have good reception where she's at.
Yeah.
I think she was in the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was in a shopping center because I think our time, 6 o'clock for her is a hard time,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sent her a message on the messenger. So anybody has any more questions or any things that you want right now? That you thought
Maybe-
about? You
How to
forgot
explain the compensation plan when somebody becomes a brand rep?
You mean somebody? That we could do it ourselves. That's our original one. We have a lot of that on the YouTube that explains marketing plan. No?
With the new plan, it's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. New one.
Yeah, the velocity ones in YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have velocity. So I think what she's suggesting, what we need to do, we need LOI training and a new BA training.
Yeah,
We need to
that's-
start one. I don't know, we should plan one day to do that because we do 8 o'clock every day anyway. What do you guys
Well,
think?
she said once a month, the second.
I know,
the
once a
second
month. So we
something.
should have like a LOI training once a month and a new BA
Mhm.
training once a month.
Yeah,
So basically, everywhere we know since before that the first week Saturday, the first week, we always train our downline fast start training. So they knew how to start the business, or at least they knew the workflow of the business. So that's always the first week, every Saturday, the first week, every month.
Tracy's back. Tracy's back.
Tracy's back, okay?
So
Tracy's back.
sorry.
Hi, Tracy.
I don't know what
It's
happened.
okay.
Like all of a sudden went out. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we were going back over wholesale versus retail. The only time I would
Yes.
sell at a wholesale price is, let's say that the person did a shout out for me and I didn't get any sales. I want to be nice and say, hey, I'll give it to you at my cost. I'll give you $10 off. You'll still make a little bit of money, but it will cover the cost of the wholesale and your shipping. But I only do that, like, you know, because they did a favor for me, but everyone else is retail, because that's the whole point of doing it in the bulk is to, you know, make that $300 from selling the bulk order of 19 of those firming creams. Okay.
Mm.
Everybody good on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Uh,
number 13, the one wholesale, this lady, apparently, whoever asked this question sold to her friends at wholesale. And she wanted to know if that was okay.
Yes. Yeah. If you have friends that you want to sell to and not make money, 100%. Yeah. Because some of us are also just, you know, building and really just want to get volume, right? So some of it's
Mhm.
not necessarily making that retail profit. But
Mhm.
especially when I have new people coming on, I don't really encourage that because I want them to make money. Because the whole point of getting the shout out and getting them to do the post and flipping them is to say, oh my gosh, you just made $300. Do you want to make
Yeah.
more? And that's where you get people excited because they didn't have to buy anything and they made money really pretty easily. Okay.
Mhm.
Can you outline, describe to us what a day in beast mode looks like in terms of action? The whole cycle, shout out, post, responding to direct messages, and then asking those who buy to do a shout out, offering the opportunity, follow up. Okay. So you mean to kind of like go through my day? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think so.
Does everyone have a journal? If you don't have a journal, this is going to be harder for you. So get a
They have-
journal.
They have the journal. What I did with people in Asia, I actually copied my journal over one,
Right.
and then
Right.
they use it. But the rest, all here, we purchased, each one of us have one, yes.
I'm going to go through my day, and then if you go to, excuse me, One Team Global, write these dates down because there's some great training. February 4th,
Mm-hmm,
Aaron K.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Blakely Lawrence. Hold on, I'll tell you. Blakely Lawrence. Oh, it's making me log in. Damn it.
What was the first date you mentioned?
Aaron K. February
4th.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. I'll come back to it. For some reason, I am not able to get to it right now. Oh, wait, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, and then Aaron K did it today. So today's date, which is June 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then January 19th is Blakely. Those three will really help you in the flow. Okay. Here's my journal prep and how my day goes. Number one, the night before, you need to fill this out. Okay, your journal has to be filled out with all of these income producing activities need to be put into your block time. Okay, so I start with, what do I need to do in the morning? Do I need to take kids to school? Do I need to work out? Do I need to do lunch? Do I have to go to a doctor's appointment? Do I need to, whatever, all your personal stuff. Then you go in and you add all the action items for Facebook. You got to make a post. You need to do your stories. You need to go comment on 10 people, and you need to add new people. Okay. So those are in there. And then do you need to do your packaging, get your orders out? Okay. And then following up, if you had shout outs from yesterday, go back and make sure that you looked at those shout outs. So on February 4th, Aaron K goes through this whole page. Okay. So I usually start my day off. I go work out. I do my miracle morning. And then I sit down, I listen to OTG. I get a story up, because I like my stories to flow through the day so that they never fall off. So if I do one in the morning, afternoon, evening, and before I go to bed, it's never going to feel like, oh my gosh, I had a post, I did a story, and then because you have to keep the stories going in order to keep them fresh, because the stories are how you are communicating with people, right? Today, Aaron's training talked about that. Okay, trying to tell them we're gonna go eat. And then I work on because you're in the morning is when you're the most awake, you're excited, you're not too tired. That is when I try to get my shout out request. Okay, so I start with my customers first, because they're already using my product, right? Even if they haven't seen results, I still ask them to do a shout out, because they don't have to have results to post for you. They already bought it. You just ask, right? And then I will ask my friends. And if they're online on Facebook, because you can go into Messenger and you can see who is active. If somebody is active on Facebook, you better believe I'm sending them a message. Hey girl, happy Friday. Hey, listen, I see you're on Facebook. I need a favor. Would you be willing to do a shout out for me? I'm in a huge competition right now. I really could use your help. Simple, right? Okay. So, and then if you do your post every day, Aaron talked about it today, if you're doing some sort of lifestyle or asking questions, you have a way to communicate. It's all about opening up these portals to communicate with people. So that is why the flow of your day is important, of the income producing activities that are put into your time slots. And they have to be done every day. That's why it's that's where consistency comes in. You cannot expect to, ask Sally to do a shout out for you if you haven't been on Facebook in a week. She has to see you, and the more that you post, it's like, think about when you see someone post something that reminds you to go, oh my gosh, like a customer, I haven't followed up with her in 2 weeks, but she made a post and it made you remember, oh my gosh, she bought from me 2 weeks ago and I forgot to reach out to her. Same thing happens with you. If you post something fun about your family, somebody's going to be like, oh my gosh, I saw her post about that new biome, but I forgot to message her, but now I remember. So you have to be visible and out there for people to see you. So that's why it's important to do lifestyle posts every day. And then I like live videos. You should be doing a live video once a week. it doesn't necessarily have to be about product. Matter of fact, it shouldn't. At least some of your videos should be, you know, oh my gosh, we went to, on an adventure and it was so much fun. I love being able to just get up and go. I mean, you tie things to New Skin, but it's like under the radar. You know what I mean? Okay. So, but I will say one of the most important things about this business is you have to have a miracle morning. You have to have time to manifest, reflect, and gratitude journaling and reading a book. I do that an hour every day. And when I miss, I'm off. My day doesn't go well. Okay. So does that kind of give you an idea of what, I mean, like if you follow the journal and you do the income producing activities, everything else falls into place. It's like a flow. So when you stay in the flow, you'll be good. It won't be hard. And it'll be fun. Okay. What shall we say when the shout out request person asks what company? I tell them straight up, I'm like, hey, it's New Skin. Because it's like, I don't have anything to hide. The only time I don't like saying the name of it and giving them the name of the bottle on shout outs is because they'll go Google it and try to find on Amazon. But I tell them so as soon as they ask the name or what it is, I'll say, oh yeah, it's New Skin. It's called Dramatic Effects, but buyer beware. If you try to buy this on Amazon, there is a chance that it's expired. And if you have any issues, you will not get a money back guarantee because you're not covered under the umbrella of an independent distributor. Let me know what questions you have. It sucks you got to say that sometimes, but if you have it automatically in text replacement, don't worry about it. And at this point, bless and release if they want to go buy from someone else. Because to me, I'm the one that told you about it or through my shout out. And if you're going to go buy from someone else, bye-bye. Because you're not my person. I want people to buy from me that I'm going to flip. So I just kind of bless and release those people. Okay. Any suggestion for VIP posts? Yes. Your VIP post needs to have 2 posts a day. One personal, fun, engaging, asking questions, and then the other is a product. Even though you feel like you're doing too many products, you have to remember that these are people that are in there because of you and they like the product. And you never know if you bring Sally in and she came in off of your regular page from Dramatic Effects and then you post about Soul Solution, she's going to want it. So my VIP page, I love it. Make sure that you're going live in there, doing product demos. Birthdays are really fun. Doing like birthday giveaways. You can do a drawing every month. And so I always encourage my people, I'm like, hey, put your friends in. This month, I'm going to give away a tube of toothpaste for the winner for June's birthday. It gets them excited. So you want to be doing things like that, not all sales, right? It needs to be fun, educational, where they feel like they're getting value. So make sure you do that in your VIP page.
Can I ask a question right here?
Yeah.
Page is a private post. Does each BR needs to do it, or really everybody should put an effort to group together to do one?
Everyone needs to have their own.
Okay.
Make sure
good.
you're in all of yours together so that you can make comments and stuff, because it doesn't hurt to be in VIP pages. So my girls who make their VIP pages, I'm in there so that I can make comments and stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Kind of stuck to find people to do shout out for me. Seems like running out of people and customers. Okay. I'm not even going to finish reading this. That means you are not doing the full system. You need to be adding new people every day. You need to comment on people. And Aaron K's video today, I'm telling you, go do it. You'll find new people. Yes, I see people shaking their heads. If you do it every single day, you won't have this problem. Well, those I've asked already and they don't want to do it. Do we ask them again? So I've asked people 3 or 4 times, but I make sure that I'm always commenting on their stuff or I'm looking at their story. And because sometimes I'll ask for a shout out and maybe that day they were in a bad mood. Maybe they were fighting with their husband. So a week later, I might change it up and I'll delete the request that I sent. So it's not there. And I send a different one and kind of a different wording. And I'll send it until they say, stop messaging me. Or if they keep ignoring me enough, eventually I'll probably delete them if I have too many friends. Because if they are not going to support me and you don't want something for free, what? I mean, you see me posting about this amazing firming cream and you don't want one for free? Bye-bye. So, because remember, eventually either they're going to be a customer or someone on your team. And if that's not them, then they're wasting space. So I do ask sometimes more than once. Okay, so how often should a product post be done on a Facebook wall? I worry my Facebook friends will lose interest and if it's all about new skin. This is where posting daily about your life and posting product 1 to 2 times a week, nothing more than that. Don't be a Walmart ad. And I change it up, but for the most part, I'm doing a lot of firming cream because that's what's hot. But I'm going to go back to the income producing activities. If you're adding new friends and adding new eyeballs, new people will see it. The way that you know you're not adding new people is if you're not getting any shout outs and no one's ordering from your page, your post. If you don't get at least one order, you're not doing the flow. So you always got to go back to the flow. And maybe you take a step back, right? Slow down to speed up, stop what you're doing and go find new friends and go comment on 10 new people, not the same people, but new people. So go into your messenger, see who's active. And if it's someone that you haven't talked to in a while, go to their Facebook page and comment. And when you do that, everything will flow. Okay.
Okay,
That's all.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody has any last questions for Tracy? That she can go eat her dinner because I know the family's waiting.
Well, I saw them walking by and I was like, are you going in there? Because Cheesecake Factory's right across the street.
Okay.
Well, if y'all don't have any
Alright.
other questions,
Last question, maybe, Tracy. If you adding new friend all the time and they pop up on your Facebook, how to tracking there? Because sometimes they post something every day, sometimes they're not.
So there's a few ways you can kind of track, but I wouldn't necessarily call it tracking. So you have a feature on your Facebook. If you go to your menu and you go to recents and favorites, okay, and you can have 30 favorites at one time. So let's say you add, 10 new people and you like their profile and you kind of like what they're posting. You can put them on your favorites and they're going to show up in your feed first. And if you're commenting on them, it becomes more and more. And guess what? Eventually they're going to see a story or a post that you do, and that's how you get that engagement going. That's kind of how I track. And I switch it up like every 30 days. But that's a good way to put people in your favorites to recruit or get them to buy. Does that make sense?
So you switch every 30 days.
Yeah, and then sometimes they're in my favorites and I'm watching what they're posting and I'm like, oh, I don't like her attitude, or she's cussing. Well, I definitely don't want her on my favorites and I'm going to delete her, but you know, sometimes you can kind of keep watching and maybe you like what she's posting and, you know, just get the courage to say, hey, Sally, I have to say, I've been watching your Facebook and, you know, looking at your stories, and I love your positivity. I would love to tell you what I'm doing. And it's hard to get to that place of like getting out of your comfort zone because it's really, really scary. But why not? Wouldn't you want someone to say it to you? Like, I would have wished that somebody would have came to me earlier and said, Tracy, oh my gosh, I love what you're doing on Facebook. Do you need an extra way to make money? Would you like to spend more time with your kids? Yeah. How? Right? I would have loved for someone to tell me that. So, but she may say no, but that's okay. It's like, then she's not meant for your team. But I'll do that a lot. I'll just say, I love you're already posting on Facebook. Do you want to learn how to make money on Facebook? And some people are going to say no, and some people are going to say yes. So that's
Great.
how I track my new people. Also, if you go to that recents and favorites, if you click it, I love this feature on recent, because if you do recent, it's going to bring up who just posted. Now, because when you start getting 2 and 3 and 4,000 friends, it's really hard with the algorithm to get more people in your stuff. So I literally will I'll go to recents and favorites. I'll quickly just scan, and then I'll make comments. And I'll do this, especially if I'm about to make a new product post, because it's the game of tennis, right? If I comment on Sally, the next time I make a post, she sees it.
Mhm.
If you know you're going to post something about, you know, biome, or if you're going to do another post about firming cream, go comment. It takes 5 or 10 minutes. That's my fit. That would be my last tip, is your recents and favorites.
Thank you. Can I
You're
have
welcome.
one more question, Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a boost group for everyone, you know, and lately we have been boosting each other. So there was one question that if we always boost each other, then Facebook will actually downgrade the algorithm because it's not considered a comment, because it's the same people boosting the post, not on shout out on each other's post. And second is, when we boost each other's posts, there is a tendency right now that Facebook is suggesting the friends to our sidelines because we are commenting on each other.
Yeah,
Does that
I wouldn't even worry about it. I would.
Oh, okay.
Don't even worry about it. I mean, I'm trust me, I am in my chats and boost groups all day long, and I'm getting 10 shouts a day. I've got a group of girls that are doing 10 shouts a day. Don't even worry about it. Don't let it even become a thought. Just move on.
Just go ahead and just do the usual. Okay.
Do the system. Do the usual. Don't think about it. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
It's
so
not
much.
gonna. You're welcome. It's not going to affect your shout outs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who cares if they're trying to get your sidelines to become friends? I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Tracy.
You're so
Yeah,
welcome.
and I think, yeah, if the rest of us want to stay for a while and then discuss things, we can stay for another 10 minutes. Let's say it's 9:02. So we want to thank Tracy.
We'll be
Get her
kind.
flowers.
We'll be
Thank you,
kind.
Tracy.
We'll be
Thank
kind
you so
and let
much.
Tracy
Thank
eat
you,
dinner.
Tracy.
Thank you,
Thank you
Tracy.
so much, you guys.
Thank you,
Can we
Tracy.
take a picture?
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you,
Yes.
Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, let's take a picture.
Take a picture.
Yes,
Yeah.
picture.
My camera.
Turn on all your video. How do you make everybody come in? Who is good at taking all the videos?
I'll
can't
take a picture.
Or
I'll take the
does you have
picture.
everyone? Do you have every?
Turn
Yeah,
on
all of us.
your camera, okay?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me take it this way.
Oh, she's got her heart. I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
We 30 people today.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'll
Thank
see
you.
y'all.
Hold it,
I'll
hold
see
it,
y'all
hold
at
it. I
Success
haven't finished yet.
Summit.
Thank
Hold
you.
on, hold on. Don't leave yet.
Tracy.
Oh, wait, Pat
Tracy.
said don't leave yet.
Okay, bye. Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Bye.
The rest of
Bye,
us are here.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, Tracy. Thank you.
Love
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you
so
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, and we will watch errands together as one of our homework,
Oh, great.
right?
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. So
See,
Tracy's on.
Christine and John Charles they are on.
Yeah. And had you
But
want
the
to say something
newbies,
about?
this group.
No, we have quite a few newbies, not just them.
Okay.
Unless you want to share something, John or Christine. This is their first time meeting Tracy on Zoom. Okay, so any comments, something? So I have a curious question. Number 8. Do you have a getting started on shout out training for beginners? Is it possible for us to replicate your training for our newbies? Who asked that question? Can I ask?
Marguerite, it was me. I was actually wondering whether she has that, she had that PowerPoint when she took each person. I mean, she was talking like what is a shout out and how you do it and all that. She had a video in the do not share thing that I was telling you about. So I was wondering whether it's something that she actually repeats or it's in the video somewhere for her people. Because that one I feel is quite comprehensive and it has a start to finish and it's very short. So I was just wondering about
Oh,
that.
I did not know that's what you wanted. I
But
went
it's
and
okay.
copied it and I sent.
Yeah, I
not?
saw. It's really blur still, but I can try to make something out. It's okay. I probably can get, it's okay.
Because most of the stuff is on the
Yeah,
journey starts here.
it is.
You should have said. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
never mind. Because I
could
didn't
ask
want to
about
hold it up.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because she had so many questions. Yeah.
I know. But every time we have so many questions because we only ask her once every 6 weeks, We
Yeah.
can't bug her every day.
Yeah.
So maybe for homework, because we don't have any sessions tomorrow, but on Sunday, I think we should have, everybody should have watched Erin case study today.
Yeah,
And
it's
then let's do a
excellent.
discussion. Instead of going through it, together, let's make that, everybody should watch it first. And then if they have questions, we could ask and see if we can answer. How about that? For
Great.
Sunday.
Marguerite,
Or-
I actually
Stop
watched
recording.
Aaron's today.
I will stop recording, okay?
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
yeah, stop recording.
Marguerite,